Yo, dude, you know what you should do? Crank it up to 11. Make the amp louder, just crank it. Crank it up to 11, dude. Wait, what? Crank it to 11? My amp doesn't even go that high. Make 10 louder. Just crank it up, man. That's what all you gotta do. The way to make your guitar tone sound very good, take every knob and then crank it to the 10th degree. You want it to be the heaviest bass, the heaviest treble, the heaviest reverb, and the volume must be on volume 10 when you're playing metal 10. That's way too loud and doesn't sound great. Dude, it's not what you want, it's what the consumer wants. You're uploading videos to YouTube, or you're putting it on an album, or you're making MP3. People want to be able to crank your music up and have their house rumbling and shaking. That's why you have volume 10. It's to be used at a high volume. That's why you have amps to go to 10. You don't want to play music at volume 2, volume 1. What's the addressing? You're going to go, hey everybody, we're going to see Disturbed, Metallica, and Megadeth tonight. They're going to be playing the concert. Master of Puppets. And you're going to be sitting in the crowd, what? What'd you say? James, I can't hear you. You know, that's just for you people, dude, who don't know engineering, don't know music. You just think you crank everything and it's supposed to sound great. To be honest, everything doesn't sound... Dude, just shut up. Just crank your shit to volume 10, turn your bass all the way up, and that's how all metal records used to be recorded. Now you have digital people wanting to turn it down. No, it's called crank it to volume 10, make it loud, and when you hear rap albums, they don't turn the bass up to volume 10, so when you're driving in your car, it's rattling. They have the volume on 10, so the bass will you hard. That's that kind of genre of music. We're not playing acoustic music here, dude. You gotta play... I'm not doing that, dude. There's something to be said for having tonal quality, to have your amp set a certain way so it sounds nice and it sounds great to the listener, where you can hear it on garbage cheap headphones, you have expensive headphones, you have it on stereo monitors. Oh my god, it's so loud.
What the fuck is that?
Man, this dude sucks. I'm not buying his albums. Get that shit out of here. Let me call my boy Dan in the UK, see what he thinks about Loudness War. It's ringing. Hey, what's up, dude? You know, there's this dude that came into the studio today and is basically telling me to turn my music up and my amps to volume 10 and turn the treble, the bass, and everything up. And I was trying to explain to him that people don't want that. And he was like, if you don't crank it to volume 10, the shit's going to sound like garbage. And I demonstrated by playing one song at volume 10, and this dude was going crazy. He was like moshing and going apeshit.
Why would you do that? You're a great band, kick-ass musicians, great songs, but no, you have to take part in the fucking loudness war. Cheers for that. Most metalers know exactly what I mean by the loudness war. Spinal Tap was actually a joke. You don't have to turn everything all the way up to 11.
That's exactly what I told him. You don't want it to be so loud that it sounds like a tin can. The reason why Metallica's last album, Saint Anger, sounded like trash is because they recorded their drums on a high volume. People don't realize why Lars Ulrich's drum sounds like so shitty and it sounds like a tin can. It wasn't he was playing a bad tom at a high volume. That's why Saint Anger sounded like shit. You know, people don't realize that. And if you go back and you look at the recording process, James Hetfield and Lars was like, hey, we want to sound like a garage band and just crank everything up to volume 10. And that's what they did. And at the end of the day, that's why the album sounds so shitty, is because they played at volume 10. And why was Master of Puppets and the album Ride the Lightning so great? They played at volume 2. There's a big difference. You want to hear Tin Can Metallica volume 10, or do you want to hear good thrash metal, Metallica at Volume 2. I'm going for Master of Puppets, baby. Okay guys, I didn't realize at the end of the day Metallica was playing at a low volume on Master of Puppets, and I thought Saint Anger was played at a low volume. So for you guys who think you have to crank it up to volume 10 all the time, that's not necessarily true, because I went to a friend's band practice, and I'll definitely say this. It was a little room about the size of my office, and they were playing everything on like volume 8, volume 10, and it was so loud, so distorted, you really couldn't make out what they were doing until they started tweaking the volume, turning it down. Then you can actually make out what they were doing, but because it was so loud, all you heard was noise, and you're like, my ears are ringing, it didn't sound great, and I'm like, I can't even tell if your songs are great or not. When it first started turning the stuff down, turn the volume up, I'm like, you turn your guitars down, you turn the bass up, the actual bass amp up so you can hear the bass player, and it was like, oh, okay, they got pretty damn good music. But before then, it was just loud, and it wasn't proud, and it wasn't great. So as always, thanks for watching this little, I guess, skit video of why you shouldn't play music too loud.